The entire team at Emsolation want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We want to recognise that we are recording and telling our stories on the stolen land of our country's first storytellers. We wish to pay our respects to all Wurundjeri elders and ancestors, and to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who listen to Emsolation. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' continued connection to the land and waters of this country, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Always was, always will be.
Russiano.
I've saved a screenshot of it on my phone and I keep looking at it. I want to stroke it.
And Michael Lucas.
I ordered a little bit of sashimi and I've got a full teriyaki salmon.
This is Emsolation.
Get those nipples out.
Nips ahoy!
You're in Emsolation.
Well, hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Russiano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic brain and a podcaster. And together with my best friend since I was 11, award-winning screenwriter Mr. Michael Lucas, I bring you this podcast. How are you? Well, I'm currently sitting in a house in Bondi in Sydney, so the sound's going to be a little bit off. You might be getting some ambient, I don't know, children laughing and birds chirping and rain. We've had rain this morning. I'm here because I'm working on Anomalous, my podcast that'll be coming out next year around neurodivergence. And it's weird. I've brought myself up here and, you know, I'm organising it all with the production company and it's really my baby. It's really something that I'm investing in financially and personally. So I'm here doing a bunch of recordings for it and photo shoots and promotional materials. I feel like a big girl. I feel like an adult. Otherwise, friends, I don't know how to get through to the end of the year. I genuinely don't. I know so many of you feel the same way. And I'm conscious that it is my job to be your weekly jolt of, hey, come on, gang, life is here and we need to grab it by the flaps. But at the moment, I'm just feeling like, can I make December? I know so many of you are feeling the same. The thing getting me through, I will be really honest, is the fact that I get to get on stage for some of you on December the 3rd in Sydney. I'm really looking forward to that. I know we only have like 10 VIP tickets left. We have quite a few of the non-VIP tickets. What do we call them? General. I'd love to have all of you there. We'd love to get it full. I am producing that show also, so all the financial kind of risk is mine. This is what happens when you say no to the big boys and you just go out on your own. You take everything on yourself and it's a whole different level of stress I never really thought about. So if you can come along on December the 3rd, we'd love to have you. It's going to be such a great time. We're going to be reliving the year. We have a very special guest from the newsreader. Oh yeah, definitely. You wait. It's going to be so great. She's amazing. And we also are going to be doing some songs, Dad and I and Zeke. So please come along if you can. What else have I been doing? Well, today on the pod we talk about the nipple bra because so many people sent it to me and I realised my brand is nipple adjacent. I don't know how or why, but here we are. I do know. It's my fault. I talk about nipples a lot. We also discussed the Britney Spears autobiography. We finally both finished it. Michael had very strong thoughts, stronger than I thought. Michael was also in a security lockdown while he was listening, so you have to hear that story. And I've decided to age well, like Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2. And I want you to understand, we just entered into this territory at the end of the pod, as we so often do, because I don't know, my body has changed. Something is happening and I feel all the creaks, the noises I make when I stand up louder. And I bloody joined a gym. You'll hear about that. I joined a gym. I've only been once. You'll hear about all of this. I shouldn't be giving it away. Otherwise, I hope that you're well. There is so much to take in at the moment. And if you're a very sensitive person, it's tough. And look, I think even if you're not a sensitive person, it's a weird old time. If you put your finger up in the air and gauge the vibe, I'm getting strange ones. Are you? I'm just feeling the need to kind of lock myself away in my house with my family and draw the blinds and just watch reruns of like Gilmore Girls or something. Do you have a show that you know if you're rewatching it that you're not in a great place? You put it on because that's your soothing comfort. Marcella puts on Gilmore Girls. I put on Drag Race. That's what I put on. Odette puts on Vampire Diaries. So if that's what you need to do this weekend, draw the blinds and pop on your favourite show, please do. And then maybe if you're in Sydney or going to be in Sydney, think about coming to the live show. Come see Mummy. Let's spend some time together. Is that creepy? Come say Mummy. I should stop now. Please enjoy the following offering from Michael and I. We're both on locale. So it's, we're out in the field. It's a different vibe. It's organic, it's earthy, it's raw. It's less quality. It's taking it back to the old days of insulation. Okay, that's enough from me. Play the music. Emsolators, you're only a what if away from creating the perfect holiday. And right now, Emsolation listeners can get 10% off selected hotels. Go to whatif.com/listen for details. What if? It's Aussie for travel.
Hey, lovelies. Before we get started, this podcast exists just to give us all an escape and a safe space where we can have fun. And it's only here thanks to the 3,560 people who subscribe to our premium service, Emsolation Extra. Our premium service gives you a personalised link to an upgraded podcast feed where you can access exclusive content, including 2 extra episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays every week, more access to Em and Michael, merch discounts, ticket pre-sales, and so much more. Help us keep this independent, neurodivergent, female-led podcast alive. Support us for less than $2 a week at emsolation.supercast.com now.
It's Emsolation Extra.
Em Russiano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Michael Lucas, I am in Sydney. You are in Melbourne. We're remote working today.
We are. It's how this it's how this podcast began, though.
It's so true. And it feels a little bit wild not having Ben to laugh at us. I don't know if I'll be able to go on.
I know. He really does spur you on.
I keep thinking he does.
He's so generous too. There's part of me that knows we don't deserve it, but I'll just take it.
He's a total laugh whore. He is a gag hag. He's the one who wanted gigs in the front row. The thing is, though, Ben has a cough on him, and once he gets going, it's like my mother has a cough on her. And whenever I was doing a performance or at a dancing concert, she would make herself known by a hacking, like phlegm-filled, heaving cough. I still have anxiety. I still can't hear coughing to this day. It's Jenny Russiano cough.
Wow.
And Ben has a cough on him, so you've got to be careful at how much you make him laugh.
We could kill him without hilarity.
Pretty much. I've been thinking a lot about Kim Kardashian's nipple bra. Like,
what else would you be thinking about?
It's really captured my imagination, and I'm obsessed with it. I've saved a screenshot of it on my phone, and I keep looking at it.
Would you like to take a look at some fine rubber nipples?
Yeah.
Like I want to stroke it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how hard are those nipples? They must be quite hard.
Well, the thing is, it was sent to me by 1 million people. Obviously, I'm overstating it, but quite a few.
Actually, I considered it, but I didn't because I thought it was insulting because it was like a Kim Kardashian viral thing. I'm like, she would have got this so many times. So I'm glad I made that judgment call and did not send you Kim's nipples.
Can you explain to me why you thought of me? Because I want to understand the correlation of me and Kim Kardashian's nipple bra. Like, what made so many people think of me?
Well, I mean, at various times you have made nipples the point, pun intended, of your comedy routines. Like I remember the fighter pilot thumbs, or just in general, like, I mean, the T-Rex
tits
doesn't specifically refer to nipples, but it sort of does. I think of a little T-Rex claw. And it just felt like a development. Also, I mean, now that I think about it, why you'd be the first person I think of. You famously once been photographed on a red carpet in an unfortunately see-through blouse, which did reveal a level of nipple. So it just feels like your relationship with nipples and the whole idea of how exposed they are is complicated and long. And this was content that would work for you. That's why. Your Honour, I rest.
My brand is nipple adjacent. I see this now. I understand. I've forgotten about my nipples in that dress. You You don't understand if that happened now, I wouldn't give a shit, right? But I remember when it happened, it was about 2012, and I didn't sleep for about 2 weeks. I was so upset and horrified. And now everyone's going to go and search for the picture. I know you're all going to do it. I'm in a black dress and I've gone and looked for it. I look good.
Most
I
of the
look
time they
fit.
put little gold stars on it, as I recall.
But I remember just being absolutely horrified. But now when I look back at that picture, I'm like, bitch, you looked
Get
good.
those nipples out.
Nips ahoy.
But also, so many people have broken through and just gone nip-free on red carpets. I mean, these days it's just you want to get likes.
But the thing is, I have always been obsessed with nipples because I felt totally blindsided, as is well documented, by what happened to mine. But I just remember never being told to honour and cherish the tiny rosebud nipples. And so when I saw these tiny rosebud nipples in bra form, it triggered something in me. It made me feel like, okay, sure. But then I thought about, remember our friend Kate got her nipple pierced, and then the problem with that was that her nipple was always erect?
Which friend, Kate? You're going to have to give me last name.
Kate Jenkins.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, she got it. After she shaved her head, she was a cool girl at high school, she got her nipple pierced. And, Kate...
Oh, my God. I was going to say, okay, everyone, sorry, you just made a lot of lesbian Wentworth fans absolutely lose their minds. So apologies for that, but just thank him that you got the image.
Sorry, Kate.
I think Kate Jenkinson's nipples are absolutely in their pure original form. Well, she too has breastfed, so who knows.
Wentworth fans have just gone, what?
I know.
Kate, she always had an erect nipple. And I think, what if you pop the nipple bra on and you have a job or you're going to a funeral or, I don't know, you work at a childcare centre and it's the only clean bra. We've all been there.
Someplace where it's not appropriate.
Yeah. Do I always want my nipples hard?
You have to go to court.
And you just pick up, you're tired in the morning, you pick up the first bra you see, you whack it on. Oh, shit, it's the nipples.
Yeah.
So then you have to...
You're the press secretary and you have to go out. You're CJ in the West Wing and you have to go out and explain foreign policy. Like Penny Wong should not buy.
Oh, no. Penny Wong should not. And as I pointed out, the Batsuit had nipples and no one batted an eyelid. No one cared.
I'm Batman.
I think the entire world batted an eyelid. I still remember it. That was in Batman Forever, the Val Kilmer Batman. It was the campus Batman of all time.
I lived for the bat nipples. So I mean, sure, if that's what she wants to do, I just think some people were trying to be outraged about it. And I'm like, well, it's just nipples. I mean, it's covering your nipples to show nipple. Do you know what I mean? Is it nipple shaming if you do have giant saucer ones such as I? Is it promoting a nipple that no one can attain?
Yes. Is it false advertising too? Does someone get a strong impression of your nipple and then go, whoa, okay, we're in a different situation here?
I just want to say, if that would definitely be the case for me.
I ordered a little bit of sashimi and I've got a full teriyaki salmon.
It's the iceberg scenario. What do you see above the surface? But yet, if once unfurled, holy shit, it's just a lot of nip. It would be like it's not an eyeful. It is So maybe perhaps, but I just did want to say I have been thinking a lot about it. Thank you to everyone who sent it to me. I say full nips ahoy if that's your thing. I have quite enough nipple. I have nipple to share, so I don't. Yeah. Now moving on. All right, it's time. We both completed the marathon sitting. Britney Spears.
Well, I'm going to say not that long a marathon. It was like 5.5 hours. Like most audiobooks I read are like 17 hours. So this wasn't too bad.
Really? I felt exhausted. I was like getting to the finish. It was exhausting. And we were listening to it at the same time. Are you allowed to talk about the circumstances in which you were listening to it or not?
What, that I was at work?
Yeah.
I think so. Well, now I've got to commute. So part of the reason I flew through it was that. But then, also if I was, totally, I was Am I allowed to talk about this? It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Can you talk about the being locked down? Is what my question is.
Oh, yeah. No.
Tell the story of how Britney got you through. Britney got me through cleaning my depression room, but she got you through something too.
Oh, it is true. I had a meeting at the ABC, and it coincided with a lot of protests. If you're not familiar with that, there's a lot of protests over a Four Corners story where they're being compelled to deliver footage and out their sources, and there's a lot of protests. And anyway, there was a protest happening in the ABC building, and so I had to be sort of placed away from the protesters in a little spot awaiting further instruction. And Britney was there for me. I don't want to make it sound too dramatic. These protesters were very, they were just impassioned. They looked like if librarians got really impassioned, they were delightful.
Yeah.
But, it's the closest that I've got to any kind of security scare. But it was wonderful to have an audiobook just ready to go. I didn't have my laptop on me, so brilliant.
Oh, I know, because I decided I was going to clean my depression room and Britney was going to... So I put in Britney/Michelle Williams, who, by the way, was the perfect choice. Because by the end of it, I totally forgot that it wasn't Britney.
Yes, it fused.
Jay got all excited and said so loud, "Oh yeah, faux shiz, genuine. What's up, homie?"
It did fuse.
Yeah.
It really did. And also, I love the fact that obviously Michelle came to us on Dawson's Creek as Jen, and she was young, and much the same as Britney came to us young. But Michelle was obviously allowed to develop and not overly sexualized and became a fully realized adult.
She did. But similarly, she went through one of the most, she was part of one of the most famous couples on the planet at that time. And obviously there was immense tragedy there. And I mean, some might say, yes, she's probably professionally ascended. She was never institutionalized. Let's just put it that way.
But the perfect choice. I take back any doubt I had about Michelle.
She was just so good. She was empathetic. She sort of captured some of the Britney vibe, but she just glided through it, and I felt I was in such good hands.
And I think once you hear Britney's forward...
This book has been a labor of love and all the emotions that come with it. Reliving everything that you're about to hear has been exciting, heart-wrenching, and emotional, to say the least. For those reasons, I will only be reading a small part of my audiobook.
There's no way that she could have got through a whole book. No. And I also feel like she would have tangented anytime her dad's name was mentioned. There just would have been 5 minutes of ranting. Because this book is really written for an audience of 3. Well, maybe a bit more. I would say an audience of 3 with an extension of 2 more. Her dad, her mother, her sister, and then Kevin Federline and Justin Timberlake. They feel like the audience...
Concluding with a shout out to the gays, which I appreciated.
I know. And she's smart. She's a smart girl for doing that. But after hearing her in the intro and how it had to be so minutely recorded, it felt like every word there was a stop-start. And her friend did it for her at her house. That was how removed she was from the whole. I listened to all the way to the end credits and I said that. So what is your overall review of the Britney Jane Spears audiobook, The Woman in Me? First of all, they said the title a lot. So that was good.
They really do, yes. And I really appreciate that. If you commit to a title, you want to find a way to seamlessly weave it in, and didn't she ever? My review was, well, look, I mean, I absolutely barreled through it. Like, immediately. I'd done it as had you, within the first 48 hours of it being available to the public. So I think that in it speaks to itself. Oh, God. I mean, for me, actually, the most stark thing came really early, which was the family history that I didn't know about, specifically her grandmother, Jean. So let's just say Britney is not the first woman in her family to be forcibly institutionalised and put on lithium. It happened to her grandmother. In fact, her grandfather, Jude, married 2 women who he put in institutions, so it's a real family trait there. But overall, to be honest, I would have welcomed more on the whole rise to fame, peaking fame. Like any story, any detail she would give me about the shooting of the video clips or whatever, I drank that up, but she was galloping through. Like it felt like it was like in 2 halves. We did all of her career up until the conservatorship, and then the whole second half was essentially the conservatorship, which I can, and obviously one of the traumas of the conservatorship was it was all the same after a while. It was like Groundhog Day. And sometimes it did feel like that to me as the reader. Although overall, I mean, just as she kept rightly pointing out, how the hell could this have happened when, male rock stars can throw furniture out of windows and take drugs and do all these things and be completely fine and celebrated, and, I'll go out drinking and suffer some postnatal depression and end up in an institution.
Yes.
But, and I agree with you that I guess my only other thought was she is still feeling, understandably and justifiably, the white-hot burning anger towards her family, her father in particular, but all of them, which I totally get. It'd be interesting.
Not Brian, not her brother.
Oh, no,
he
he's all
seemed
right.
to have escaped.
He's all right. That's true.
Yeah, she seemed to spare him the wrath. No one else. I just got, the triangle of evil, of male evil between Kevin Federline, her father, and Justin Timberlake. That for me really kept coming up over and over again. These three men that she really, really wanted to go after. And I imagine Justin Timberlake is sitting at his house right now with Jessica Biel, just being like, we were so young, like, why does she care still? This is wild. And we were, like, in our teens. I don't understand. But for Britney, you can tell it's like it was yesterday. It's so fresh.
Yeah.
She's still 16. She comes across as 16 and angry. It feels like she kind of stopped in time, Arrested Development. That's it.
Well, she talks about a fair bit that she often, in times of trauma or anything like that, she regresses to a childhood state. But yeah, I mean, Michael Jackson famously seemed to also suffer from that. The age that you rise to fame.
Most child stars. Don't you think that seems to be the fate?
Yeah. Well, Jodie Foster, I mean, some escape, but Jodie Foster I don't think was a child star on the level of like a Britney was.
Britney and
Which was a teen star, but yeah.
Still, it's that time. But she did start quite young. Overall, I mean, the conservatorship was hectic, and getting through those chapters, I was like, I can't do any more. I just, and I don't understand how legally a woman who was making her own money, how they kept her prisoner. Wow. The biggest star in the world, arguably.
Making hundreds of millions. Touring. Literally touring. I thought it was just Vegas. No, it was touring.
I just don't get how that happened in plain sight. That's the biggest confusion for me is I don't understand. And I also got a sense of, I don't think we got the whole truth from Britney. I think we got Britney's version, which I think Britney has maybe altered so that she can live with it. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel balanced.
I felt like she was coming from a point of, it was still very, very important to her to prove how unjustifiable everything was. Yeah. And there's part of me that wanted to say to her, you don't need to worry about that. Like, it completely was. Like, what you were going through, there is no way the steps taken against you were in any way justifiable. But there were times where I felt like, have you really told us where you were at that particular time? Like, she would allude to postnatal depression. She would allude to sort of liking energy supplements and things like that.
What? Can we stop down on the energy supplement?
Over the counter.
What the?
Yeah.
I didn't understand how she literally tells a story of how she was taking energy supplements and her father found out, so they put her back in rehab for a month. Like over a Gatorade or what? That was the stuff. I'm like, I need more information, Britney Jean. I need to understand how you can be put into rehab over and over the counter. And what do you mean energy supplement? Like a caffeine pill or a no-dose, or is it a multi-V? Like, what do we do? And what's the name of it? Can I get some? Because...
Having said that, though, I mean... if anyone
I'm on her side.
Totally. Yeah. She was literally silenced for so long. If she wants to spew out her version of it in a way that feels cathartic for her, I'm here for it. And there is absolutely no doubt that is so fucked that happened. Oh, my God.
So fucked.
Hey, Madonna, who came off well? Madonna.
Ah!
Amazing.
Didn't she
just? Showing up at Britney's apartment at her lowest ebb and tying Kabbalah things around her, strings, I should say. But then also I loved how, she explains that the Me Against the Music video clip and Madonna making everyone wait for hours and hours and hours because her white suit wasn't quite perfect. And Britney's just thinking, and I realised that this is what you can do. You can hold your power, take time for yourself. I love that.
I love that. What about the little shots of Christina Aguilera?
Yeah, Christina didn't go nearly as well. I don't think. There's clearly no love lost there.
No.
I mean, there was nothing truly devastating, but it was just a clear, complete lack of any kind of love.
Yeah. Didn't really... When she spoke about the MTV situation, the kiss, I don't think she even mentioned Christina Aguilera's name.
No. Famous one.
And love Mariah Carey. Said that she had a light, a glow.
Love Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey invented the ring light, basically. That's what I took from it. She had it back in the 90s.
And then just toward the end of the book says how much she loves the gay community and drag. So really, she gave the fans what they wanted. She really did. And I agree with you. While it may feel like it is a burn book for 28 chapters, she's earned it.
She totally
burn away.
has. She
Set it on
totally
fire.
has.
Lovelies, there's nothing I love more than really deep diving into a special topic. For instance, I now have an encyclopedic knowledge of all the ways Justin Timberlake broke Britney's heart. It's my new special topic. What If's special topic is everything Aussie travel, and I'd bet you've hardly even bothered to explore it yet. Exactly. So let me be the one to announce your next deep dive. What If have spent the last 23 years helping us explore Australia and connect with each other. The What If app connects you to hotels and apartments and other amazing stuff, like a hidden hideaway in the Tasmanian bush, some beachside bliss in Broome, or all of the fun of a Gold Coast family escape. You can also book flights, then combine them with hotels for a package deal. Plus there's car hire and heaps of options for things to do when you get there. Because of course, What If would. Your journey to becoming an Aussie travel expert starts with What If. Book your trip on the What If app now. What If? It's Aussie for travel.
This episode of Emsolation is brought to you by the 3,560 people who subscribe to our premium service, Emsolation Extra. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near the 65,000 plus people who consume this free Thursday episode every month. Those 3,560 people help this little independent neurodivergent podcast that Em created keep going. Those 3,500 people help us get closer to paying all our staff, paying the rent, and ensuring that this Thursday episode remains free for everyone else. They're doing all the heavy lifting so that you can enjoy this podcast every week. So, if you haven't been convinced to join us on our premium service yet, allow me to explain exactly what those 3,560 people get for their tiny investment. They get 2 bonus episodes every week, including one where you get to ask Em and Michael anything every Friday, and another every Tuesday where Em gets to deep dive on a special topic, from love conundrums and the marriage diaries to chatting to someone who's inspired her. And there's over 50 episodes waiting for you right now. You also get access to close friends on Instagram, pre-sale tickets to our shows, discount merch, and so much more. And the cost to you is minuscule. Yearly, it's $1.72 a week, and monthly, it's $2.49 a week. Em has taken a huge risk going independent, so now we need you to join the 3,560 people who've already said yes to helping this podcast survive. Head to emsolation.supercast.com to be a part of our premium service and start enjoying the perks today.
It's Emsolation Extra.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss? It's your birthday today.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because the podcast goes down on a Thursday.
Yeah, I'm such a professional. I am.
It's
yes.
It's your 45th birthday today.
My 45th birthday. Halfway to 90. That's all I think about. You know what I'm doing on my birthday? A location recce. And you know what that is? It's where you drive around, you spend all your day in traffic and you drive around. And in our case, we're typically seeing old 80s architecture. So you drive to some far-flung place, you look at old 80s architecture, you decide it's not right, and then you hop in the car again. And it's going to be terrible weather. Can't wait.
Well, that'll be a good... 45's important. I want to tell you I joined the gym. I joined the gym because my next birthday is 45.
It is.
And I've decided that I want to age well in terms of I don't want my bones and muscles to break. And I just had this revelation that up until a certain age, you want to look well and get fit and look hot because, I don't know, that's what you do. That's what society expects. But something shifted in me recently when I'm like, no, I want to get Linda Hamilton Terminator 2 fit so that I can be a kick-ass old woman who's like got the ski poles and they're out walking at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know. That's who I want to be. So I joined the gym.
I know you have mocked me for it, that I have my own little regime that I'm operating on. But me too. Like, I'm now 100%, like, in the past, I mean, obviously, I've long ago given up any sense of can I possibly get abs? All that's gone. I'm not interested in that anymore. But I just want to be strong. I want to be really strong, and I want to make sure all my bones are held in place. But my thing is as well, what I have had to move away from is really, like, jolty, shocky stuff. Like, I used to be a bit of a CrossFit fiend and things like the box jump and everything like that, which I'm sure are good for so many things about your aerobic fitness and everything like that. But also, that sort of shit can take its toll on your joints. At least it does for me. Maybe I was doing it wrong.
No, same.
Yeah,
no.
So for me, it's all about. But then weirdly, Jennifer Aniston is embracing this mode of working out where you do weight resistance, but you don't do it like pumping strong, jolty. You do it slow and controlled and get those muscles happening. But you can feel the difference too. Like, I feel so much better when I'm like properly fit and have all my muscles like taut.
Yeah, I'm the same. But I also had the realisation, because for so long I viewed exercise, well, for a while exercise was just part of my training for my life, my event. But then exercise became like a punish. And then I just drew a line in the sand recently and I'm like, I'm not going to do any exercise that makes me feel bad. So I'm not going to go exert myself to the point where I can't breathe and I want to vomit. I'm not going to do jolty exercise. I'm going to do gentle, good stuff that makes me want to do it over and over again. And I had to reframe the exercise. I joined the gym 2 weeks ago. So Scott and I joined together and we joined 2 weeks ago, and I've been once and he's been nonce. So going well.
It's money well spent.
When the money came out of my account yesterday, I said to him, Scott, that we've just spent $80. I've been once and you haven't been at all.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? But I've got to figure out a time of day where there aren't stinky teenage boys there and tradies, because I understand the pull of the no men gym. I understand the Fernwoods now. I can't do it. I can't do the sweaty bros. And they come in and they wear work boots and they're short. They're not even in a sporting kit. That to me should be illegal.
It really should be. Hey, would you swim?
Yeah.
Would you do classes?
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to do classes. I'm going to do reformer. I don't know, something's just flicked in me where I'm like, the fear of God, actually. All the menopause stuff and all the finding out that my lack of estrogen was leaching my bones. I've just gone, I'm going to be one of those old women that people see and they're like, there's going to be lots of fucking scarves and short hair and muscles and ski poles and like swishy pants and pottery. And
we passed a ski pole woman on that infamous hike that we did.
Yes.
Yeah, when we were in Palm Springs. She was up earlier. She was beating us in every sense. She'd already climbed the whole mountain and was coming back down. And this was a point where Em was... I mean, she was seeing her life flash before her eyes.
I was.
She was a solid 30 years younger than this woman.
But she was still better than me in every way. I just think there comes a point where you're like, I don't care about trying to be hot. I just want to live. And I think at nearly 45...
Wow, you've made a choice for you. I'm proud of you. I hope that you do go a second time. I think you'd be closer to your goal if you went again.
I walked out of the gym, right, I've been to the gym. Is that it? Once. That's enough. All right, well, I'm off. I am here in Sydney because I'm recording some stuff for my podcast, Anomalous, that's coming out next year. Michael Lucas has already done his interview.
That's right, I have. I was like an M correspondent.
You are, yeah. The first 2 eps is going to be like kind of M's Australian story for her brain, and then we go, the next 4 after that is like experts and information, and it's going to be really, I'm doing a photo shoot for the front cover. I'm doing all the best part is the soundscaping, because, you know, I love it.
You do love it.
So we're picking all our original music.
Oh, you would love that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really good.
Can you reveal any other speakers that are on it or not yet?
Oh, well, Scott's on it, Odie's on it, you're on it, Ben's on it. There'll be a bunch of people. I think maybe Jamila, maybe Rob, maybe my parents. I don't know yet. We're just got to see how it all pans out. It's a lot of audio to go through. And I'm really enjoying the documentary aspect of this podcast because I'm able to we piece it all together like a beautiful picture rather than this, every week. I love this, but I'm able to take my time, basically. Yeah. So that's coming out, I think, in March next year. Look out for Anomalous. I know the Insulators will be on board.
March, around the time of your 45th birthday.
It's all coming together. By then, I'll be doing one-armed push-ups in my jail cell. So people better look out.
You'll be screaming at the psychologist, I know it happens. I've seen it. All of you are dead. You're gone.
It's true. It's happening. All right, bye.
Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Okay, gang, well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for being here. Also, I'd love you to check out Emsolation on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. That's where we post all our videos. In fact, if all of you just went right now, once you finish listening to me, and go to your Instagram, go to the Instagram account, and maybe just go and view the last 10 videos. And can you maybe leave me a little message? Can we agree on an emoji? Let's agree. I would like purple heart. I want to know that this message got you to go and purple heart the videos that you've watched and liked. I love this. Let's see what. And if people be like, what are all these purple hearts? I'll know that you have listened all the way to the end of the pod and then you've gone and done the thing that I asked you to do. Plus you get some great stuff you might have missed because, algorithms. Please go and do that. And also we are now on TikTok. Oh, yeah. We are so up and hip with the trends. Ben has forced me. Ben's running it. Ben is a TikTok queen at 54 years of age. I respect this man. We've got to be on TikTok, Em. That's how we do it. Like, okay, babes, as long as you run it. So if you are on the TikToks, if you're on the Clock app, please go and look up Emsolation. All the videos are there also. Have an amazing weekend or week ahead, depending on when you're listening. And I will definitely be catching you next week and I'll be full of beans. I promise you. I'm going to do my little work week in Sydney, which I'm very excited about. And next time we chat, I'll have stories to tell. I'll have energy to give. But, sometimes it's just important to say everyone gets tired. Thank you, gang. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. And we just want to remind you that you can help keep this little podcasting safe space alive for all of us by subscribing to our premium service, Emsolation Extra. You'll get 2 exclusive bonus episodes every week, including the chance to ask Em and Michael anything, plus Instagram close friends access, ticket pre-sales, merch discounts, and so much more. You can help give this independent neurodivergent-led podcast to more people by supporting us for less than $2 a week on our yearly plan or less than $2.50 a week on our monthly plan. Get amongst it now at emsolation.supercast.com. And of course, Emsolation with Em Rossiano is recorded at Down the Hill Studios. It's hosted by Em Rossiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by Em Rossiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fenn with videos by James Henderson. Socials by Benjamin Wasley, Em Rossiano and Marcello Rossiano Barrow with assistance from Jem Evans and Georgia Watts. Get more Emsolation by following us on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter, join other Emsolators of the Emsolation group on Facebook. Please share this podcast with a friend, give us a 5-star rating, and make sure you're following us by hitting the follow button on your favourite podcast app. Thanks for listening to this week's episode, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.